What's up, guys? So today we're working on Project 4-banger. We're going to be replacing the thermostat in it as well as the radiator. The thermostat, I think, has a lower temperature one, so we're going to put the factory, I think, 195 temp thermostat in there. And then something came up and hit the bottom of the radiator, the lower hose, and cracked it, and it's leaking. So once these crack, you got to replace the whole thing. Good thing is these are pretty cheap, so we're just going to be doing that today. So we'll start out with the thermostat, but first what we're going to do, we're going to drain the radiator. So I got a drain bucket here. Get it to start to drain. So I got a bucket here, catch all the coolant, because we're going to reuse this, because this is a good fresh coolant. So just going to keep twisting until we get some fluid to come on out. So like I said, yours might be different. Yours might just be a simple little twist guy. This one was a Allen head and 8. So we'll let this go, and then we gotta pop the radiator cap off, let all that pressure out, and then it's gonna start really draining. So got the new radiator here, but we're just gonna let this drain out, and while that's doing that, we're gonna get started with the coolant tools. We're gonna do this hose. Let's get this off like that. Give it a couple squeezes, see if we can get the, just pop it off. This is usually pretty messy, so might want to just come out there. I'm gonna pull this one off too. Up and out of the way. Pull that off. You don't necessarily have to, but this is going to make the job a little bit easier. Oh, actually doing pretty good. Just going to push on the bottom, just like that. Push there, pull it off. Okay. Let's grab our socket set here. Yep, grab a 1/2 inch. And you might want to get another bucket underneath here to catch all this excess junk. I think I'll just leave this hose on. It's looking kind of crusty. So we'll put this guy back on. But you could, if you wanted to, you could take this off and make it a little bit easier. We'll see if we have to or not. Okay. Because we might be able to just swing this out of the way. Okay, big long bolt. There we go. Okay, it probably would be a little bit easier to take the belt off, but this one doesn't have a quick release on it. It's got this bolt that you tighten and it pushes the tension out. So on the 4-liter, you have that little thing you stick the breaker bar in, and it tension releases. So if it tension releases, I would just get it out of the way. But with the little 4-cylinder, we're just gonna fight the belt just a little bit. Might be a challenge getting it back in, but there's the little bottom bolt. Now let's try pulling this guy off. There we go. Pretty simple. Nice and clean in there. All right, so yeah, so you don't necessarily I don't even think you need to take this upper hose off, but we're doing it because we're doing the radiator anyway, but you could probably keep this hose on and that'll be just fine. So there's the gasket. If your TJ's got a bunch of miles on it, this probably isn't going to come off super easy like this. You probably need to scrape off these edges here. We're probably going to clean it off anyway, but here's the thermostat. Let's grab the new one. Some paper towel in here, and just gonna clean up the surface here a little bit. Okay, so let's make sure our new gasket fits. I thought I ordered one, but they gave me like 10 of them. So if you guys want one, let me know. So let's make sure this is the same. Yep. Okay, that's cool. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even need a new one, but we'll show you guys just so you guys can see what this looks like. This is probably how yours is going to come off, all not in one piece. Get that later. So grab a little razor blade. And we'll just cut this guy off. Careful not to cut yourself. Try not to get it back into the housing here or into your block. That's pretty clear. I remember when I did this, I probably did this 5 years ago, and the original gasket was much harder to get off. I definitely spent more time cleaning this out, but a little bit of brake clean and just clean this out a little bit. Looks good. Nice and clean. New thermostat. Make sure it seals up nice on there. There's a little ridge in there. Kind of gets held in place nice. All right, let's pick this. Looks like there must be an adhesive on this side. Yep. A little sticky. Very nice. Line up the holes. Okay, like that. I do the top bolt first, just to get it lined up. We're gonna push it through. We're gonna make sure it doesn't peel off like that, if that makes sense. So make sure you can push it through. Maybe don't move the gasket out of the way. Get started by hand. It's nice it has that kind of sticky adhesive, so it kind of holds it in place. You're not fighting it, which is very nice. But this one was nice. I think a lot of the fluid dripped out already on me because of the leak in the bottom. So this is usually a little bit more messy, just so you know. Go ahead and click our little connector back in. We'll leave that off obviously because we're going to take the radiator out, but all right. So that's the thermostat. Pretty simple, straightforward, not too difficult. Okay, so we're going to take this little breather vent off the radiator. Pull this guy off. It's just a little Christmas tree connector. Lift it up and off, just like that. It's nice and goopy. Pull up. It comes out real nice. This guy's just kind of wet. This is the overflow tank. Set that there. Power steering. Okay, so we got that. That's good. That's all good. We got our hose here. We're gonna move it over to this side, and we're gonna grab this lower radiator hose with this guy here. Real simple. Open this up a little bit. Grab onto that guy, move him over. Pull it out. Shouldn't be too messy, but nice. So like I said, we got most of it out already, which is good. All right, let's work on, we're gonna pull this, I'm gonna pull the fan shroud off of the radiator because we gotta pull this straight out. So I'm gonna okay, nice and corroded. Wouldn't expect much else from a Wisconsin Jeep, sadly. The 2.5 liter fan shroud is the biggest fan shroud. It's hilarious. When this thing's off, there's so much space to do everything in here. Just gonna bump this out of the way. That looks good. Now I get access to the radiator, and there's gonna be 3 bolts on each side. 3 bolts over here too. Might be able to get it with the drill, at least these top 2 ones. There's one. My job nice and easy. Socket. All right, I'm going to pull this guy out. Okay. So let's see if I can even see the crack. Yeah, there's just a hair, there's literally just a hairline crack right here. And that's just enough when it heats up. It just runs right through it, which is kind of lame. But what happened is the coolant hose was pushed way off, so something must have hit it and cracked it as well. So let's go ahead and grab the new one. Okay. Grab one of these guys too. Go ahead and stick it on in here. Get it started so we can kind of hold it up here. Get it started by hand. Seems to help. Okay, iron smear. That's something we gotta do by hand. It's kind of a bummer. Oh yeah, that's some awful threading. We're just gonna zip those guys in. A little tough to get in, but once you're in, you're good. That's good. Get this guy to go back on. Very good. That's nice. Like that. Let's get our hose back on. this over just a smidge, like that. Get this guy. Boom. All good. All right, last thing we got to do is go underneath here. Got a nice coolant there. But we're going to slip the lower radiator hose on. That fits nice. Nice and tight. All right, so we are done. Now all we got to do, grab a nice little funnel, put it in there and start pouring the coolant in. Okay. All right, so now that we got it right about there, start the Jeep up, get the water pump going, suck more coolant down, and then we just keep adding more coolant. Get the heater going too. All right, so the GoPro died, but you're just gonna want to do, just keep filling it till it's up to here. Then once you're done, all you're gonna do is close the cap. And there you go. And you want to go around for probably a little drive, then come back, and then let it cool off, and then check the level, and then also check your temperature gauge, make sure everything's going all right with the Jeep. All right, another thing I want to talk about a little bit is letting the cooling system burp. So I filled it up, started it up, kind of got it up to operating temperature. Then I turned it off, opened up the little canister here, and all the air bubbles that were in the system kind of came through here, started it up, and then filled it all the way to the top here, and it was drinking fluid, and I was filling as it was drinking. So that's kind of just, if you're not getting any heat through the heater cord and everything like that, and you're kind of wondering why, just you got to let all the air get out of the system. There's going to be air in the system, sucking through the radiator, all that stuff. So, but anyway, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful if you're replacing the thermostat or the radiator. If you guys did, please give the video a thumbs up. Helps me out a bunch. Definitely consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.